What's going on, everybody? Rough Rider Show here. It's I guess technically my first regular video of 2022. I know it's already almost into February. Just been slacking on the videos lately. We haven't been doing much. Some of you have probably already realized the somewhat of a format change of the channel. I kind of wanted to shift more towards wildlife and providing, live cameras to the public, which you already know I've been doing for the past couple of months now. Which Bird Cam Live. It's check it out in the channel when you get a sec. But today's video is pretty much nothing funny, nothing special, just a behind the scenes video, because some people have been asking me what my setup is, and I'm gonna explain that today. Here's my dog Greta having a good time. But yeah, I have some more four-wheeler videos coming up. It's right now it's 12 degrees outside, so the sun's out though finally, but the sun's helping out a little bit. But again, with it being 12 degrees out, I don't want to be out here much longer. But anyhow, so yeah, I got the driveway plowed with the four-wheeler. The truck's over there. Greta's sitting here. So anyway, let's get to the video.
EF1 or 2 tornado. That was... Marry me,
Buddy Rough Rider.
Messed up.
Yeah, we're starting off today's video with a little woodpecker. Looks like he's headed for the squirrel swing. Hi, little guy. He's slowly making his way over there. Anyway, so this is a little behind the scenes video of how I got everything done here. And for people watching the live stream right now, they're probably wondering what's going on. There he goes. See if this woodpecker decides to go for that squirrel swing. Squirrel swing has some seeds on it that the woodpecker might like. There he goes. So, there you go. He's got a seed. Oh, he's up there. Anyway, I don't want to be much longer so these birds can get back to feeding. So here's my setup. This is my front yard. This is my house. Obviously, the 3 cameras. We'll get to the camera section in just a moment. I have a couple feeders. I usually get them from Menards. This is a house feeder. It's got bird crap on it right now. I am due for my monthly cleaning. So usually every month I usually wipe these down and drain them, clean them out. So I am due for that. And then this one's a new feeder. This one's actually my favorite out of all of them. It just looks nice. I might end up moving that one over there. But anyway, we got this feeder. And then every once in a while, you'll notice I've changed the feeders every once in a while. So right now I got 3 tray feeders out. I might change that again because I've been having issues with squirrels getting up there. And yeah, I got the old-fashioned saying where when a squirrel tries to climb the pole, the slingy slides them down. It does work very well, by the way. So if you don't want to buy like a very expensive squirrel baffle, try putting a slinky on your bird pole. And then when they try to climb up, they'll just get sent right back down. It works pretty nice. But the problem is look how close the tree is to this feeder. So the squirrels can just jump from there to there and no problem. So that seems to be what they like to do. But, if I wasn't having like a camera set up to the bird feeders, I would probably put my feeding system like out there somewhere. But for live stream purposes, I like to keep it right there. So that's the only problem. So word of advice, don't put your bird feeding station near trees. So they can just hop on from tree to tree. So anyhow, got the green feeder here, just a basic feeder, 3 tray feeders. And this one here, I've gotten some questions about what this feeder is. This is actually a custom feeder that was made for me by a store called Wild Birds Unlimited. It's a local store here in Central Ohio. They sell custom feeders. And the cool thing is at night, you can't really tell because the cameras turn on their IR sensors, so you can't really see. But just before dusk, tune into the live stream, you'll see this kind of glow up when it's empty. I try not to fill it all the way because if you fill this all the way, the lights light at the inside, but it obviously doesn't light through the food. But this is a solar feeder, so it kind of looks cool at night. It's just kind of there for show and looks. It's pretty cool. And another basic feeder here that actually does need refilled. To the ground here, we actually get deer, raccoons, possums, southern flying squirrels. You've probably seen those many, many times at night, so look out for those at night. Southern flying squirrels, they're kind of like those small little creatures that like to hop from tree to tree, which I'll put a clip right here on the video. That was for me last night, actually refilling the feeders, and you could see him just kind of chilling around. And then I'll show one with an image of with the squirrel, or on the live stream as well. But anyhow, so the deer come in here. They like to eat. They usually like to come from this side. As you can see, these are all deer tracks. It snowed recently. They come in here, they eat. And I am thinking about moving like the deer food to probably out here, because sometimes is when they get in here, which many times they've actually came in here and they accidentally bump into the pole and then knocks all the food all over the place, which I'll post a clip right here. This is a prime example of what happened. Yeah, so I'm probably gonna move that to prevent something like that from happening, because this seed is pretty expensive and it just gets all on the ground for the squirrels to get. But anyhow, all right, so that's that. Let's get to the cameras themselves, and then we'll get to the seeds themselves. So these are the 3 cameras I do use. This one down here is the oldest one of the fleet. This one I usually have pointed down towards the ground. But given I don't have any ground food, I got to run to the store and get more. I have it kind of pointed up to get... This is like a wide angle camera. This one can see all of them, despite being really close. So that's a wide angle camera. It's by Foscam. I don't know the exact model. I think it's like a F1980P. But this is a Foscam. It's a PTZ camera. You can pan, tilt, move it around, everything. The only problem I've had with this camera is in very cold temperatures, the sideways motor freezes up and I can't point the camera side to side, but I can move it up and down. But in freezing temperatures like this, the motor that turns it side to side, see, it's kind of hard and I don't want to break it. That ends up freezing up, and that's kind of a design flaw, unless maybe water got stuck in there. That's just freezing up. I don't know, but that's the problem with that camera. But other than that, it's a pretty good camera. I mean, it's low quality, it's cheap. You can get it on Amazon for about maybe $140, $140. This was my first camera I experimented with. Actually, before I moved to IP cameras, I had a USB camera. So I taped a USB camera to the tree and ran a USB cord all the way to my house. But every time it rained, the USB cable would get ruined and everything, and it didn't work. So I finally made the upgrade and got an IP camera right here. Moving on, this is the next camera of the fleet. This is the second one. This one is kind of a knockoff, off-brand camera type deal. It's a China camera, but it gets the job done. It doesn't have a wide-angle lens, so it gets about this view. So like, I'm gonna zoom the camera in. That's about how wide it'll get. You guys probably see. So it can't see everything. So sometimes I'll have to move it around and kind of choose what I want to point it at. So that's just kind of a secondary camera. I usually like to keep pointed at the feeders while that one points at the ground. So I don't know the model of this one. I'll put all the links in the description of all the cameras that I have picked up, so you can pick up each individual one. This one's a little bit more expensive. This one has a better zoom. That one barely has a zoom at all. Like, it'll zoom into about maybe that much. That one can zoom in very, very, very tight. And as for long channel subscribers, you know, Tommy and I have the Barney beacon, which is right over there. So that camera can zoom in pretty well. So have you ever seen shots of like birds like this close? Like, it's from that camera. So this one I picked up for about $200, $199 on Amazon. So not too bad. It gets the job done. Again, not, you know, the best quality camera, but better quality than this one. The only downside I have about this camera is the moving it around is just a pain in the rear. The app, literally, there's no buttons. You have to swipe your finger, and when you swipe the finger just a little bit, like let's say you want to just move the camera an inch, it goes like this. So in order for me to move it slightly, I have to zoom all the way in, swipe my finger so it'll move a little bit, and then zoom back out. You've probably seen that a couple times on the live stream. It gets quite annoying, and I don't know why. It was poor design, in my opinion, on the app. But I don't know. I usually don't move this camera around much because, again, it's just a pain in the rear. But if you log into the web UI lets you move it like inches. So not sure why, but anyway, it's an okay camera. 200. I would think maybe if you find this camera on sale for like $150, maybe worth it. But $200, I think kind of little overpriced for the quality you're getting. But it gets the job done. So then I have two cables. I got the Ethernet and power running from that camera, this one into a box that has all of the things. I'm not going to open the box up in this video, but this has the router in it. So I have a router switch, so I could split the Ethernet channels between 3 cameras. So I have an Ethernet switcher in there. And I got power cords and basically everything that is not waterproof, like power and extension cords, etc., are all inside that box to take care of these 2 cameras here. And then moving on to the newest camera of the fleet, and as you can see, I still have yet to bury this cable. That's because as soon as I installed it, it got super cold, and digging ground when it's frozen is impossible. But anyhow, this one is the newest camera of the fleet, and this one is probably the most expensive out of all of them. This is a M-Crest. I think it's a 4 megapixel camera. This one is the big dog. And this one is a 4K camera, and you can zoom in really good and really get the detail on those birds. That's probably why you've seen my Facebook posts of really cool shots of some birds. That came from this camera right here. Worth every penny. Some people said I probably spent way too much on it, which I probably have, but again, really worth it. This camera is really good. So if you're looking, this is just a security camera too. So if you're looking for a high quality camera, get this. This is a really nice camera. So this one's kind of the same as the Chinese camera there on the top. When you zoom all the way out, it doesn't really get that much of a wide angle like the Foss cam here. So that's why I kind of have it tucked all the way back here to get kind of the wide perspective like this angle here of the birds. So again, this is an M-Crest 4 megapixel camera, a PTZ, and the app UI is really super simple and easy to control. I mean, it's amazing. No complaints at all with this camera so far. The only complaint, I take that back. Maybe the only one complaint I have about it is I had some trouble setting it up, like accessing it away from home. Like right now, my iPad can control it from away, but the M-Crest View Pro app that I use to move the cameras around is kind of challenging. Sometimes it'll connect, sometimes it won't. Well, if I'm home and I'm just like on my computer, web UI, or my phone, it'll work just fine. It's just when I'm away from home, sometimes it'll lag and sometimes it just won't work and I have to refresh it. But other than that, great camera. That's the only downfall. This it's a great camera. Amcrest 4 megapixel cams. Shout out to NASA Spaceflight, actually. NASA Spaceflight uses these type of cameras for Starbase Live, for Starship stuff, SpaceX, if you guys are into that stuff. They actually use these type of cameras, and that's how I was able to pick one up. So shout out to them. Right now I have it pointed at the squirrel swing. Not like we're getting any squirrels because I'm right here. But that's pretty much it from the camera side of things. So I got China camera, Foss cam, and the Amcrest cam all pointed here. And of course, inside that box is the power supply and Ethernet switcher. I did have to run a separate Ethernet switcher to this camera here because this one requires higher bandwidth. So the Ethernet switcher in there couldn't support the higher bandwidth from this camera. And of course, if I'm spending, a lot of money on it, want to get the full quality. This camera here retails for $399. So like I said, way more expensive than those two. This one's $399 on Amazon. You could probably get them used on eBay for probably maybe $299. But I got this one new because I was experimenting. So $399 on Amazon. There is a higher spec model. There's a 8 megapixel version for like, I think $559. But again, this is just for birds. I don't need a more expensive one, but who knows? I might get one later down the road. But yeah, you can get this one off of Amazon. So that's it for the camera side of things. Let me show you what I do every day to refill them. Okay, so there's the camera side of things. Now on to the seeds that I actually use. Some people have asked me this a lot. Excuse my messy garage. By the way, update on the Can-Am. Got a new battery for it. Runs great. So we're doing good there. Anyway, back to the subject here. So these are the type of seeds I use. I kind of change them up every once in a while, but what I'm using currently right now is some Meyer brand food, fruit and nut. I don't buy any of the cheap stuff, as you can tell, because I've experimented with that and they don't eat it. And that's probably why it's cheap. But anyway, so I use the fruit and nut. It's got black oil, sunflower in there, some woodpecker seeds. That's some more Meyer Winter Blend wild bird food. So I use that. Some corn for the squirrels. And just ran out, but I also use Kaylee, KT or whatever it's called. They're the expensive bird food, but just used the last of the blueberry. And had some Finch's food. And I used some nut and berry. And probably the most popular, here's some safflower seed that I got from Menards. So again, I split them every once in a while. My primary retailer is either Menards or Meyer to get bird food, because that seems to be the supplier that I usually go to. But I'll check out other stores later on. Of course, you got your black oil sunflower seed. Cardinals really love that. And this is probably the most popular by finches and all birds, rather. This is Wild Finch food. Let's see. It says Wild Finch Blend by Kaylee. It's the brownish seeds. The birds really love this. I mean, this actually is the most expensive out of all of this food. And yeah, it's in a small bag. Okay, one more thing, and you've probably seen it a couple times on Bird Cam Live. This is the backyard feeder. There's a little squirrel. This is the backyard feeder. It's just nothing special, just a two bird feeder station. I just kind of fill it up with, the same seeds I have in there as I do up front. Now, you're probably also wondering, where is the camera? Well, I don't have a camera out here. I actually use an old iPhone. And you can see it right up there in my bedroom window. Kind of hard to see, but you can see the iPhone sitting there on a tripod. But anyhow, so I have the iPhone pointed, and I use its camera as the backyard feeder. Now, you probably notice I don't run it at night because, the iPhone doesn't have night vision, and plus it's through a window. But I'm exploring my options on maybe I'll mount a camera to the side of the house there and have it pointed out here. Who knows? I might pick up, that Chinese cam that I explained earlier. A Chinese cam, I can find it for $150 used, so I'll probably pick up one of those. And, not much for me to move it around anyway, so I'll just have it zoomed into here pretty much at all times. But these are the other feeders I use. I have again, a standard blue one. And this one's actually pretty unique. This is actually this is a tray feeder, but with a green house on it. It's pretty cool, nothing less. But that is the seed I use for the backyard feeder. Now this pole is kind of falling apart. I kind of have it hold up with a brick for the moment. So the brick is holding it up. But that's it for the backyard feeder, and then the iPhone's pointed at that. So, all right, so now one more thing. We'll go behind the scenes on OBS. So, all right, so now we're upstairs in my bedroom, and back out to where the backyard feeder's at. This is the iPhone that I use for the backyard cam. As you can see, it's got a really good zoom on it, on backyard cam. This is a iPhone 12 Pro Max. This is actually my previous phone, and I decided to keep it instead of trading it in. I'm filming right now with my iPhone 13 Pro Max. So this is a 12 Pro Max that I use for the backyard cam. And that's that. Okay, a little behind the scenes here. You guys probably recognize this studio. This is my radio recording studio, but also home of BirdCam Live. And right now we're going to take a look at behind the scenes. So right now, this is what you guys usually see. Right now I got the 3 cameras. I'm not showing the iPhone one at the moment, but I'll show you how we can do that. This is OBS. Most of you are probably familiar, but if you're not familiar, OBS is the streaming software I use. This is being run off of an M1 Mac Mini, the standard base model. The M1 Pro or the M1 processor does just fine for what I need, and it streams it pretty well. So here's the cameras again. Looks like we got a bird on the scroll swing there. 3 cameras up in the front. So this is a Chinese cam, the top cam that I was explaining earlier. I usually have it pointed at the top. This is ground cam, the FOSS cam. Right now it's pointed up. And this is my scene selection. So as you can see, I have many different scenes that I like to show you. Like, for example, ground tree cam. If I click this camera becomes full screen. Right now, people watching the live stream right now are probably wondering what the hell I'm doing. But anyhow, so this is ground tree cam. There's that FOSS cam. And then top tree cam, this is actually Chinese cam. Looks like a bird tried to fly into the lens there. And then, of course, M-Crest. That's the expensive Big Bad Bones camera. So you got the scroll swing. And then the iPhone, I actually have it enabled as a port cam. And there's the backyard cam. So that's the iPhone. I mean, the iPhone has a pretty freaking good lens. This is actually the telephoto lens off the iPhone. So that is a view of the backyard cam. OBS, I got all my sound stuff here. I mean, there's a lot of sources that I got. Got a couple scenes here. Each individual camera, obviously, I have a couple scenes where I can show you multiple different cameras at the same time. So that's pretty nice and handy. And a couple other scenes here, and that's pretty much it. So right now it's on an automatic switcher, so I can manually switch it like I just did. But every once in a while, it'll change by itself. So like here in like 5 minutes, this will probably change to another random camera that I have it set to. Just because, I'm not going to be sitting here clicking all the time, changing the scenes, because obviously I'm at work and I can't deal with it. So that's why sometimes when you see, there's a lot of action on one camera, then it just switches off of it for no apparent reason. Trust me, that's not me. That is the automated system. So sometimes I time it coordinately, like if I have it on one camera, so I have it set to stay on one camera for a while, which I'll show you here. So I use a plugin called Advanced Scene Switcher on OBS. this allows you to change scenes automatically. So here's how it works. So top tree cam, that is the Chinese cam, I have it switched to ground cam in 10 minutes. So if this is being shown, this will show for 10 minutes, then it'll switch to this camera. And then usually the ground cam, there's not much action during the day, so I usually only like to keep it on for just a short while. So I only have it on for about 2 minutes, and then it'll switch to Amcrest cam. And then Amcrest cam, I have it a little bit longer, at 13 minutes, because again, it's a really high quality camera. Rather show that than the other ones. And then I also have it to change to multiple window scene, which I'm going to change it to the iPhone, because at night sometimes I have to change this because I don't want it to switch to the iPhone, because the iPhone can't see anything at night. So I'll change this, but this will change to there, and then it'll go back and recycle. So it'll stay on that, the multiple view mode for about 25 minutes. You can see everything, and then it'll recycle. It'll go back here and work its way down, go right back up. And then these are some small ones, like at night, for example. Usually I like to keep it on the 3-camera mode, where I can show you 3 cameras at night, because if we get deer and stuff at 4 in the morning, I'm not going to be here to move any of the cameras around. So sometimes I'll keep it on the nighttime scene, which is, I will show it to you here. That is this view. So normally this Amcrest cam will be pointed at the bird feeders, but I'll leave it on this scene here, so if there's a deer that ever comes by, you can see it and enjoy for yourselves at 4 in the morning, or if you want to rewind. But I got some bird action going on right now. So there's that seed that the finches really like. This will be gone by the end of the day. It's crazy, and I just refilled it like at 1 o'clock. So anyhow, that is behind the scenes of BirdCam Live. That's pretty much my basic setup. I know this video is probably way too long than it needs to be. I'm chatting way too long. But for those of you who have been asking, that is my BirdCam setup. I will put some links in the description for each individual of the cameras that I have purchased, so you could try and get for yourselves. Foss cams here, Amcrest there, and Chinese cam there. So that's behind the scenes. Thank you guys so much for watching. And coming up next, we're going to do a video with Tommy, which Tommy's sitting out here, about a new Xbox that I got, which I already unboxed it, but you guys will see that video next. There's Tommy. Hi, Tommy. Tommy. Tommy's in the middle of playing Xbox right now. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Right out of Target. Charmander, clean.